if there's an emergency and they've got enough in their parking lot, it provides their lifestyle with staying power. They don't have to change their lifestyle in an emergency. Make sense? Number two, if there's an emergency and they have enough liquid and available, it provides their assets sitting there in qualified plans, sitting there in non-qualified investments, sitting there in their home. It allows their assets to stay in place and continue to grow. Lastly, if there's enough there in liquid savings, in the event of an emergency, it gives the client staying power to keep away from bad debt. It's amazing how when I meet with a client for the first time, I gather all their information, I put it on the model, and I look down at the debt window, which on the model is on the bottom left-hand corner, and there's a big balance or two on credit cards. How often that's a result of what? An emergency that they didn't have the proper funding to handle. So the only way they can handle is what? Take on debt. So having the proper amount in savings, parked, available, gives lifestyle, assets, and debt the opportunity to deal with all three. Any questions about that? Okay. Principle number 4 is in dealing with debt. Now, in a perfect world, our clients would have no debt. But for most of them, that's not realistic. I use Elizabeth in there. If I call Elizabeth and I said, Elizabeth, let's get out of debt. I just want that part of the model to be blank. We put our house on the market, we'd sell it, we'd move to an apartment. We'd drop our membership at the club, I'd sell the cars, ride the bus, okay? Take my kids out of college. We'd be out of debt. But I don't know that's the lifestyle that we want. Now, so until we can get out of debt, we have to have it. But that's okay as long as it's good debt. As long as it's good debt. A little bit of an oxymoron, good and debt in the same sentence. Okay? But there is such a thing. What would be good debt? Okay? Well, that's an example of a product. But what are the characteristics? Okay? As low an interest rate as possible. Interest that's deductible. And a repayment schedule that's in your favor versus the lending institution. That's good debt. So when anytime we look at a model and they have debt and it's not good debt, we've got to try to do what with it? Eliminate it. It would blow your mind to see how many people who are sitting there with $20,000, $25,000 in a money market account begging the bank to pay them 1%. And they owe Citibank $15,000 and they're paying them a 15% interest rate. And they say, we just don't feel like we're getting anywhere. I wonder why. But without a model, they don't make the connection between those two decisions. Okay? If we can't eliminate it, how can we look for strategies to go from bad debt to what? Good debt. How can we reposition it? And are there opportunities to take good debt and make it better? Could we lower the interest rate? Could we create better tax situations? Could we put them in a better situation where they control the relationship with the lending institution as far as the amount of time? Make sense? Okay. Now, what I need you to understand is, and what I want you to do is, if you'll take and draw a line on your model, horizontal. Okay? P1 is the first drawer protection. S6 is the sixth drawer of savings. If you'll draw a line horizontally, okay, across the model, dividing the top 15 drawers, which is P1 through P6, from the bottom 12 drawers, which would be S7, 8, and 9, and all of growth. So if you draw a line horizontally, okay, everything above that line, I teach my clients to think of as the defense of the model. protection, liquidity, savings, debt. Everything below that line is what I teach my clients to think of as the what? Offense. Very good, Robert. Now, we just saw it at the Super Bowl. The Broncos got their butt kicked because the Seahawks had a what? Better defense. Okay? What I find is our clients are losing because they don't have a balance between the offense and the defense of the model. So we've got to spend a majority of our time up front getting their defense in balance with what they're doing offensively. I draw this every time I have a client review meeting. To bring the client in, remind them the importance of the model, to draw that line horizontally and say, we've got to see how well your model is balanced. I can't tell you how many clients came in with their tail between their legs a few years ago when they had gotten killed in the market, going, ow, am I going to be okay? Relax, you're fine. The offense of your model is throwing interceptions and fumbling, but the defense is keeping you in the game. Don't worry about it. And let me show you why that is. And they left the meeting feeling much better. Versus people that didn't have the defense and they were getting their fannies kicked in the market. And they were losing because they didn't have the proper structure, the proper balance. Does that make sense? Next. When we do cross the line and we go into the offensive part of the model, everybody loves S9. It's a qualified plan drawer. It's one of the 3 most powerful drawers in the model. Because every time a client puts $1 in there, they're getting multiple benefits. They're typically getting a match. They're getting a deferral of the tax. They're getting the opportunity to have it gain market returns. And it's protected from lawsuit. Very powerful area of the model. But one of the things that I want you to understand is, what's the true tax benefit of that drawer? It is not a deduction, it is a deferral of the tax. You just say to the tax, not now, I'll pay you later. Everybody understand that? Okay? Now, here's something you need to understand. And if you don't remember anything else, this is one of the 2 or 3 things that will make a difference that you could implement this evening, tomorrow, in front of the client. There are other drawers that offer tax deferral. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to grab another one of these models. Okay? Anytime a client is putting unmatched dollars into S9, all they're getting from a tax standpoint is a deferral of the tax. You hear me loud and clear. Now let's talk about the other drawers that offer tax deferral. I want you to go to S7. It's actually labeled tax deferral. Okay? So if the client decided to go from S9 to S7, the tax advantages are exactly the same. They're simply deferring the tax. Yes, Jason?
I might be off on this, but my S9, S7 and S9 are flip-flop. My S7 is a tax deferred, my S9 is tax done.
Exactly.
Okay,
Not
that's all
flip-flop.
right.
They're exactly.
I'm not fixing
Okay.
it. Okay.
Nope. Okay. So we've got S9 and S7. Both are drawers that offer tax deferral. Okay. Go down to the growth component. If I own an individual stock in G5, am I deferring the tax? Okay? I'm seeing yeses and nos. Okay, Gina, if I buy Coca-Cola for $1, okay, and it grows in value, okay, because they come out with some new recipe and everybody wants to drink Coca-Cola, and a year from now it's worth $5. Did I pay any taxes? It went from being worth $1 to $5. I did? Only when I sell it. Okay, do you understand? So I deferred the tax until I what? Sold it. Okay, everybody got it? Good.
Dividends.
Okay, dividends, okay, I pay tax on dividends, I'm talking about the growth of the value of that. Everybody got it? Okay, good. I want you to go to G6, growth securities. Could I invest my money with a mutual fund manager whose number one objective is tax efficiency? Could I? Where a majority of the gain is what? Long-term capital gains, which is what? Deferred, correct? Okay, so there's another drawer that offers tax deferral. Okay. I want you to go down to G7, collectibles. Okay, I've got a good friend of mine in Charlotte who collects antique cars. When he buys an antique car and he fixes it up and turns around a year or two later and sells it when he's tired of it or he's ready to make a profit, did he have to pay any tax during that period of time? Not till he what? Sold it. Piece of artwork, racehorses, anything we're doing that grows in value, we're not paying any tax. Go to the next drawer. G8, real estate. If I buy real estate and I happen to buy it in the right location and it grows in value, do I pay any tax until I what? Sell it? No. So I've got 6 drawers on the model that all offer tax deferral. Does everybody understand that? Now let me ask you a question. Of those 6 that offer tax deferral, which one is controlled by the government in regards to when you can get your money?
That's not, it's not.
Okay, good. Which right now is what? What age? Good. So the government has the constitutional right, anytime they want to change that retirement age. Can't do that on the other drawers, but they can do that on that drawer. Make sense? Now, when you liquidate or you sell something from those 6 drawers, there's 2 types of tax. There's an income tax and a capital gains tax. Historically, which one's been lower? Capital gains. When you pull money out of a qualified plan, you pay what? Income. Okay? So here's the point. Mr. Ms. Klein, when you're taking non-matched dollars, again, we'll take all the free money we can get, but how many of you, okay, Mark, we just had one yesterday, we were talking about a case, where the client is putting above the match into S9. See that? See it all the time. I always bring to that client's attention a discussion that says, have you gone through an analysis of what would happen to these same dollars if you chose one of the other 5 drawers, where you actually control those, where you actually determine when you pull the money out, and will probably be taxed at a lower rate simply because capital gains is lower. Does it make sense? What I find is people are like mindless, stupid sheep, just doing what everybody else is doing. Oh, everybody's putting the maximum amount in the qualified plan. Dave Ramsey, Susie Ormond. Okay? Put everything you can in qualified plan. Up to the match. After the match, we're going to have a discussion. Because you may be putting it into one of those volcanoes on the island. You don't understand that you're giving up control every time you put $1 in there.